Good morning. This is Breck, and this is Scroll Talk, where I record my programming sessions and post them online to train the AI or to train humans in my weird ways of working. Today I'm going to do something small but big in Scroll. I'm going to, let me show you first. I'm going to just open a couple windows here. Try Scroll is the name of the name of the web repo of Scroll, so we can refresh. Okay. So this just lets you play with Scroll. You can say hello world, and that renders a paragraph. So the thing I want to do today is, let me tell you how Scroll used to be initially. To do a paragraph, you used to, actually, I think V1 was real bad. You had to write, I think you had to write the word paragraph. That was V1. That was a little annoying. Then things improved where you had to do the asterisk to create a paragraph. It was just a lot simpler, and then kind of everything was like a bullet point. And that still works. I guess both of these things still work. Does P still work? No, P is not a shortcut. And of course, if you know, we have a thing called after text where you can like make any paragraph a link by just typing a link indented after the text. And that works on paragraphs too. Now, a while back, I forget exactly when, probably around Scroll version 50 or so maybe, we introduced a thing called quick paragraph. And basically we just copied from Markdown, where any paragraph, anything that does not catch a keyword, a command word, becomes a paragraph. So it's a catch-all, basically, and it's nicer. I have to admit, I was resistant to it at first. People were encouraging it, and finally I tried it, and I was like, yes, this is nicer. The problem with this is that, say we've got a we've got a thing called title, my post, and then we have print title. Oh, you know what? This doesn't actually work on the try Scroll, but let me do a different example. Let's do a authors might work. Print authors. Okay, so that works. The problem is, like, what if I spelled this wrong, right? That doesn't get reported as an error. So if I were to do, Scroll has a test keyword. So if I were to write Scroll test, we get 0 errors, right? And if I do Scroll list, Scroll list will list all of the scrolls in this folder. So it'll recursively go into each subfolder and look for scroll files. And any folder that contains a scroll file, it'll print. So if I were to do Scroll list, Scroll test, so I can pipe those folders to that, I can test all those folders, and we've got no errors in all those folders. But is that really true? Like, what if some places I wrote authors, I misspelled it right? I misspelled it. And because it used to report as an error until we just made paragraphs a catch-all. So the thing I want to experiment with today, and I'm not sure if this is going to work, but I think it's worth a shot, is whether or not we should make it so that the catch-all paragraph only catches paragraphs that begin with a capital letter. So if I did this, if I misspelled like this, all right, we wouldn't catch that as an error. We would render that as a paragraph, but this one would get caught as an error. I think this is better, and I don't think there's any situations where I begin a paragraph on purpose with a lowercase letter. But we'll see. So that's what we're going to do. Luckily, we have a lot of data, because we have a lot of scroll files. We have thousands of scroll files now. So we can really see whether or not, and we've tried to push Scroll in all sorts of directions, so we can really see whether or not this will work. Now, is there another way that we could have errors and still do the catch-all paragraph? Another idea I had was like have something like testStrict keyword or something like that, where we disable the catch-all paragraph, or you have to maybe you have to say to like indicate that this is a, you know, ignore this line for testing. You know, that I'm not sure. That could be something like that could work. But if we add this restriction that paragraphs, quick paragraphs, must begin with a capital letter, I don't think we're going to break anyone's sites. And I think, you know, we could always roll back that change. It's going to be an easy one to roll back. And if it doesn't break any sites rolling forward, it'll actually help us catch some bugs. And the type of bug where it really helps us catch is currently in PLDB, where, you know, say I'm editing a entry in PLDB and say I misspell something like website. You know, I don't, that does not get reported as an error, and it should, you know. So of course we could do something like a use strict here or something, and we get, you know, we even put that in the concept page, and that might be the best approach, but it's going to be, unfortunately, it's a little bit trickier because I need to make some code changes to parsers. You know, the fact that I can't do that is annoying because parsers should allow that. And I basically want to modify the default root parser. And let me show you what that would be. So I'm going into the scroll code here, and I'm going to look, let's pull up that catch-all parser. Okay, so this is the, I mean, look, it's a very small bit of code. That is the thing that parses all of those paragraphs that that are not matching any other word. So, and if we want to see where this is referenced, we could see right here. So something like a use strict, what would we want to do maybe is be able to, oh, you know what we could do? Oh, here's an idea. We could do something like this. So if we're testing this, and we have like, if I do like this parent dot get use strict or something like this, if this, something like this, then report error. You know, and this might be the better approach. And then you can still have the catch-all. Oh, I like this. And I think we might have the infrastructure already in place for this. Where, let's see, because we have build files and folder. Let's see what this does here. Okay, so we run through the files, we build concepts, and we build file types. I think we have, oh yeah, we run this. We run this command. So we have a build method on every file. Similarly, we could do, and what does this method do? Of course I wrote it, but I don't remember. So, okay, this goes through each node in the program, and if there is a build method on that node, run it, call it, very simple. So what we could do, I think we could do the same thing for test. For each, if node test, node test. I think we could do that. And then, I mean, we'll just see if this works. And then, where's the test command? This is funny. We ended up, I thought it was going to be harder, and it ended up, there might be a simpler way to do this. Get errors in folders. So parser errors and scroll errors. I've wanted to combine these for a long time. What does this guy do? Scroll errors. We'll call these, well, these would be scroll errors, okay. Get scroll files, scroll program, get all errors, okay. And then we map if we have an error, so, okay. So do we have, okay, so this has got to be defined in the scroll SDK Today's episode of Scroll Talk is brought to you by Thermos. Thermos keeps the heat in your liquids. Thermos. It's not a very good ad. Should put more effort into that. Okay, get all errors. Scroll errors. So I'm going to map this. What I can do is, so file name, and then we have an error object. So, okay, so our interface for an error is just got two properties, a file name property. Oh, no, I just extend this. Basically, I'm just taking all the properties of this error object, adding the file name. I flatten it, I return it. So I also want to, I'm just going to be lazy here. Not lazy, but I don't know. I don't want to think too hard. I'm just going to say errors, return errors. And I'm going to concatenate this, if that's a method. I always forget it's a method. With concat. Let's see if concat, I think it's a method on arrays. Oh yeah, array concat. Okay, great. Errors can concat with file test. All right. And so let's have this return an empty array if there are no errors. So let's run map return map. So node test. So it's going to map each node. If there's a test method, it's going to run test. Otherwise, it's going to return undefined. And then I'm just going to filter, make sure we only get errors. And of course, there might be a more efficient way to do this, but this is on the test method. It's not getting run a lot. Hey, Google, next song. Sorry, I need my music sometimes. Now let's just make sure I don't have any test methods. Oh, plot, no, okay, so don't really. So this should be fine. So return this parent has use strict. Now use strict, is that the right, was the right be strict? Test strict. Let's do test strict. I'll add a test strict keyword. And if the parent has a test strict. Hey Google, keep playing. Don't know what's going on there. Then return an error. And what is my error object going to have? What am I expecting? You know, sometimes sure, it'd be nice to have TypeScript, but not worth all the overhead. I can just look it up. It's probably simple. Whatever, I'll just make it up myself, and if it's wrong, it's wrong. Oh wait, scroll. Hold on, I'm gonna pause. Can I pause? Can I pause? Oh yeah, I can pause. 1 second. All right, sorry, music's back. Scroll errors. All right, so what do we need? A file name. Should I concat at this point and then map? Yeah, let's concat. Get all errors. Concat here. Concat with file.test, and then we can go back to this. Don't need this return statement. Get rid of you. Get rid of this extra. I always like to keep things simple. So we take the scroll program. We get all the errors. We can concat any test method errors. And then we create a new object with a file name. I don't really know if we need to do this. Like, it seems like we might already have the file name, but whatever. And then we run error to object. Error to object method. So our error is going to need it. Let's just see. And maybe we're using this error class somewhere from tree node. Do we have tree node in there? No. Doesn't look like we are, but let's just take a look at what is in an error object. So where would my types be? I'd probably, let's do case sensitive search for tree error. Oh, My goodness. Tree node types. Where would those be? Where are those types? Probably got them somewhere. Scroll notation types. Here we go. Do we have an error type? Oh, tree error. Here we go. Okay. So we do have an interface. Get message. Two objects. So I bet we could simplify this. Abstract tree error. And this code is years old, but it's probably decent because I put a lot of thought into it. It's just old. Could use. Okay, so we take an error, and I guess we have a toObject method on here somewhere. Okay, so this is what we need. Error type name, and otherwise we're going to return undefined. We're going to return nothing. But if it is strict, then we should never have hit this. So error found when testing with testStrict, or not error found, error catch-all paragraph parser should not have any matches when testing with testStrict. Line, cell index, suggestion. So there's probably a better way that we can trigger. Oh, that's really the message. Anyway, this is just an experiment. We're not going to take it. We're going to have a really long-winded message here. And we will, there's probably a better method already that we can just throw an error here. But what that is, oh, you know what? Honestly, we probably can probably override the get all errors method of this node. Yeah. Oh my God, we can do it. We can do this even simpler. So get all errors, because that's what it's triggering on this. Okay, so get all errors. We'll do a super errors push node get errors. Okay, get errors. And so we're probably going to be looking at a parser get errors, so we get cell errors. So we'll run a super on this unknown parser error. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Look at this, even simpler. Just going to override this. Okay, return. If parent has testStrict. Okay. So we get errors, const errors equals super get errors. If we have that strict, we're gonna concat that with a new error. And now how do we create a cell error here? Get cell errors, get error, check, get error if any. Extra word error, unknown cell error, this. So can we create? So do we export? So we have cell errors, parser used multiple times error. Unique line appears twice errors, scope errors. Oh, so I think this might be in scope errors. Required node errors. This code could be cleaned up a little bit, but would it be an unknown parser type error? Parser node error. Oh, I could do something really hacky where I could insert an error node. So right here, I want to concatenate error. Okay, so we're just going to concat this. So I think this will always return an array, but it might not. It might return undefined, and then concat will break, but we'll see. I mean, I'll just do that for now. Clean that up later. So get errors. We can get rid of that test stuff. Let's open up Sublime Merge. I know this is a long scroll talk, but this is, you want to see some of the more interesting errors. So I don't think we need this at all anymore because we got, yep, nor do we need this. Yeah, we don't need this. Discard, discard. All we need is 5 lines of code. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines of code. 7, whatever. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Get errors, and I could even make this shorter, right? I mean, that seems pretty good. So let's just see if it works. Let's see if it works. I love when we get something done and it only takes 7 lines of code. All right, so scroll list, scroll test. Seems like we didn't break anything, but now can we actually use it? Let's just try it in here. So if I write testStrict, it should break now. Come on. Error 2 objects not as a function. Okay, great. Oh yeah, this needs a 2 object. Oh, look at this. Looks like we are creating some of our errors here already, and we clearly need a better API for this, because we're creating these weird objects right here. So, but it's good to know that we'll get to use, when we write that proper code, we'll get to use it in multiple places. Message. Okay, so we're just going to replace that message with our message. And then we should be good. So concat with this. Good God, I don't know if I have the right number of parentheses, but let's see. Yes, look at that. So now, all we have to do, and I'm just gonna put this in, create a new file here, because we should let people know about this. testStrict parser, and this is going to be description, disable, catch-all, paragraph, or make catch-all paragraph parser usage an error. Catch-all paragraph is error. Make catch-all paragraph error equal error. Okay, extends. What kind of keyword would this be? We don't really, do we have a keyword kind of like this? It would be like a meta keyword, meta tag. It'd be like an import only, I think. Parser, import only parser. So maybe this is the kind of thing we want to copy. We don't need this JavaScript, of course. Cells, it's not going to have any cells. It's going to have the keyword, so it's going to have pre-built command word cell, crux from ID, abstract top level single meta parser. This is what we're going to be extending. And do we have any? We have crux from ID already here. We already have meta command word cell here. So we just got to extend this guy. Extends this guy. Suggest an autocomplete. Not really. Maybe is popular. Well, certainly not. We haven't even tried it yet. And that's all we need. So 3 lines of code there. We'll call this the test parsers. Test.parsers. Okay. Now the music is heating up. Okay, so okay. Now let's get rid of this. Yes, it works. Oh, I'm excited about this one because this is going to help me catch a lot of bugs. And we're probably going to want to evolve it. You know, maybe you can say you can be using it, but for a specific node or line, you want to opt into the catch-all paragraph parser, so you explicitly add it, or maybe not. Anyway, I think this is good enough to ship, which is a low bar in my world. It's not going to break anything. No, it's not. It's just really going to be a new feature. So we're just going to date it. Oh, look at this. We haven't shipped a new version in a couple of days. We had a nice relaxing weekend. Yesterday was a very relaxing day. Oh no, this is the same major version. It's just a new minor feature. Okay, so added testStrict. Now, is that the best word for this? Because really, that's kind of generic. Should it be like no test? We'll call it testStrict for now. We can always change it later. Added testStrict parser to allow disabling catch-all paragraph on a per file basis. Okay, let's bump the version number. And I think that's it. Pump the version. We added the get errors to the catch-all, which normally is going to return nothing. Not going to do anything because we almost never have this keyword. But if we do have this keyword, we're going to say anytime this catch-all parser matches, that is an error. And we added the release notes. Now let's test it. One last time. Looks good. Let's build every page. Looks good. And added testStrict parser. Let me give it a proper commit message because I'm excited about this one. I'm going to publish it. And it took us half an hour, but that's not too bad because I've been wanting this for a long time, and this could save us a lot of time. The fun part is going to be deploying it. But I'm going to take a little bit of a break from that. Anyway, this is a long episode of Scroll Talk. A show that no one watches, but AI may watch someday. So, cheers. Happy Monday, everybody.